Hello, you Phantasm fans out there. It's your host with the most, Benjamin Dutil, back with another exciting episode of the Horror Heathen YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Today, I am joined by, or should I join with, the beautiful, the talented Dawn Cody, who stars in one of my all-time favorite franchises in the horror community, Phantasm Ravager. So, it is the fifth and final installment of the franchise, sadly enough. So, however, I like to celebrate the women in the Phantasm franchise. I've already spoken to a few before in the previous films, but yet I've been waiting to get you for a long time because I love Ravager. So, anyway, enough about me, and I'm going to reel my guest in. Please give a very, very warm welcome to Don Cody. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It is a huge honor and a huge pleasure for me. Like I said, enjoy the movie. I just want to say how much I appreciate you coming on my shows. Um, I absolutely love the Phantasm franchise and how the series has become more of a mystery. Even though if people have not, for those who have not been following the Phantasm franchise, like I said, with Ravager being the fifth and final installment, I'd like to point out that I love the movie. I don't care what the critics say. I don't care about the negative comments. They can all kiss my ass because it's a really good movie. However, I have a lot of questions, but by the time we have, I had to, I guess, omit the questions that were kind of like, okay, it's gonna take too much time. I can't ask these. So without giving too much away, I'm gonna shut up now because I like to talk. I'm sorry. Just tell me to shut up anytime. So um anyway, Dawn, if you could please give us a little bit of information about yourself. Who are you? Where you come from? And how did you get involved with Phantasm Ravager?
Okay, that's a lot of different stories. So I'll just try to keep it simple. I was born in Washington, D.C., and grew up kind of Virginia, Maryland area. Both my grandfathers, one worked for the State Department, the other one worked for the IRS. And so kind of family legacy there. My mom and dad met on DuPont Circle. They were hippies. I was named after a woman who traded purses with my mom, but then she never saw her again. So not the contents, but the actual purse. And I think her purse was better. So I like to say I was named after someone who stole my mom's purse. Um, while I was there going to Chantilly High School in Chantilly, Virginia, I was kind of into the sort of hardcore punk and metal scene, which were enmeshed and then in the DC scene. And we go see Slayer and then we go see Agnostic Front and bands like that. And but then I got into the drama department, and I think some of the teachers that were worried about me were like, "Oh, okay, she's an artist. Maybe she'll be all right." Like, and then from there, I moved to California to go to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I did see Phantasm 2 in the theater. Dates me a little bit, but it was just I loved the movie series. I loved the Sphere, and cut to many years later, there was this sort of monthly film festival called Channel 101, and it's kind of still exists, but not some of the same people are still involved. But it's been a while since I would say its heyday. Um, it was before YouTube was a big thing, way before TikTok, and Dan Harmon and Rob Schraub actually created it. Dan Harmon from Community and from Rick and Morty. And the idea is that anybody could make a 5 minute or less TV show pilot, and they're shown in front of a live audience, and the audience votes, and the top five came back the next month to make another episode. So, um, one of the shows that I used to live with Dan, and Dan and I did together was called Laser Fart. And the first few were just sort of shot in our apartment. And then David Hartman, he finally was like, I got to take this to the next level. And David Hartman, who did really fun special effects and stuff and was, way more techy, came in to direct future episodes. So that's how I got to know David Hartman, and I knew him from the Channel 101 scene. So if you ever, I think you can look up Laser Fart. Oh, and I get killed off in the first show. He's like, "Oh, I got to bring you back." So then I was my twin sister. That's happened to me a couple of times in shows like that. And then I got killed, yeah, in Phantasm too. So as well, Phantasm 5, not Phantasm 2. And so Dave and I worked together several times on a few different things. And I think when he was brought on to direct Phantasm 5, he wanted like a ringer. He wanted somebody on set that he knew, that he had worked with before, because he was nervous about working with all the legends, all the Phantasm legends. And he wanted me there just like as security blanket. And also he knew we have a shorthand understanding. We work well together. And then, of course, you get there and everybody's so nice. Like Reggie and Mike and everybody. Everybody's like just super nice. There was nothing to worry about. But I had a lot of fun meeting those folks and getting to work with everybody. And, it's such an honor to be killed by a sphere. That's like an amazing thing. Like check that off the bucket list. And over the years, I've gotten to know some of the fans. They're very interesting, smart people. And the times I've gotten to go to events, it's just really fun hanging out with those folks. And I don't even pretend to know as much about the series as they do, because they know more than me. And and yeah, so and then Gigi started putting together this Women of Phantasm thing, and before COVID, we were starting to go and make appearances and go to the cons and stuff, and then everything kind of got shut down. But hopefully, we'll be able to do that again sometime. So I guess that's
I,
a nutshell. Me trying to cover all the bases.
I forgot who I spoke to earlier. I can't remember her name. She was in Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead. Um, I can't remember her name.
You better edit this
Anyway,
part out, because
it it
that doesn't look good.
eh, so no, it was a few months ago actually. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I love the franchise. It is so masterfully done. It's like it has that Lovecraftian feel to it. I love it because, like I say, it's such a huge mystery. Permeate mysteries, by the way. I mean, just saying, as the series goes largely unexplained. So that's what I love about the franchise. Nobody has any idea what the hell's going on. So, I mean,
It,
I didn't know what was going on.
I've had friends that were like, "I want to watch your movie. I want to watch Phantasm 5." I'm like, if you don't watch the movies that came before at least 1 and 2, then you are not going to know what's going on. Like I would say that movie was for the fans. It was like,
Yeah,
it was very self-referential. And originally they were thinking of doing it just as webisodes. And I think in some ways, if you broke it apart, it would really work, as like little individual vignettes. Because I think that when you do something as a series, you can go more strange directions and explore that kind of stuff. And I think if you look at it in little pieces, it'd be like, oh, okay, that would have been a great web series. But they
yeah,
wanted to make it a feature, so Don and
and
Dave
it
just ran with it.
and it worked. I mean, it just
Yeah.
it's the franchise is very successful. Now, like I said, now they had conventions just for the franchise, which is amazing. Um, so have you been to a Phantasm convention? Have you been to one
Well,
yet?
we had an online one during the pandemic, but I didn't even know there were like specific Phantasm
Oh yeah,
conventions. Where are they? How come
I
I
don't
don't
know,
know
but
about them?
like I said, the other actress I interviewed from Lord of the Dead, I can't remember her name. She's one of the black women, and she's one of the commando ones. But she says, yeah, there's conventions specifically aimed just for the Phantasm franchise.
Wow.
So
I
yeah,
gotta find out
and
more about that.
I'm sure
Was
if you
it
if
was
you
it Gloria? Was it Gloria? She
yes,
usually has purple in her hair. Yeah.
yes, Gloria,
And she
yes,
was
that's
in
her.
3. Yeah, she was like
Yeah,
she's a total badass. Yeah. But super nice.
so,
I mean, I will have to say one thing that was wonderful is we did what was it? Was it It was a horror con that was like in Burbank or something before the pandemic. And anyway, the women in Phantasm came and we all hung out and we did sort of a panel together, but we were introduced one at a time. And a lot of us had just met that day and just everybody's super supportive. Like each name that was called out, everybody's like, yeah, woo, and um, just a real good group of ladies. And I was sad that we didn't end up doing a lot more together. And it got kind of kiboshed by that. But like I said, hopefully we'll do. Gigi's still trying to put the documentary
Yeah.
together, the Women of Phantasm, and she's got her hands full. Reggie's health right now is not
Yeah.
great.
I know.
Um,
I was
Super
gonna ask
sad.
if you knew anything about it because I've written like 5 letters already to him, so to show my
He
support
loves it.
to
He
Reggie.
loves it.
So
And everybody absolutely keeps sending the letters and cards. Like it's I don't know. She said recently he's doing better, and I don't know. Maybe everybody's gonna like heal him up and put him back on his feet again because he's getting a lot of energy from that from the fans. And I think Gigi's like reading that stuff to him every day, and she said he has been doing a bit better. So she
it's
said
good,
he
good.
was in hospice, but it seems like I don't know. People just like the movie, people just keep coming back, right?
Well, an example right here.
Yeah.
So,
I got to come back from the dead as a different character that didn't understand what Reggie was talking about, but
so if you could back up and fill us back in, what appealed you to this character and why'd you audition for it?
I actually didn't audition for it. Oh, that's my
No,
husband
really.
in the background there.
Oh, hi,
You can be singing
hi.
there. Um, Well, actually, Dave just asked me to do it, and he's like, "I'll send you the script. Let me know what you think." And my whole thing with Dave is like, "I trust you, Dave. Anything you want me to do, I'll do it. And if it's Phantasm, that's awesome." So I was lucky; I did not have to audition for this role.
Look at you.
I
He
think I
recognized talent.
put in my time doing short films for free, and paid off. But yeah, so what was attracted to me to this role is that it was Phantasm and my friend was directing. So that was I was just in from the beginning as soon as he talked to me about it.
Which is good because I couldn't think of anyone else better to play that role. So, um,
Oh.
obviously you were chosen. He recognized the talent. You delivered. That's all that matters. So, even though you're a very successful actress, I read your IMDb profile, and so the stuff you've been in laser fart, I can't get that in my head now. That's stuck in the back somewhere. It's just how it just is not associated with Phantasm, but it's still stuck in the back of my head. So,
Well, you
so
got to go watch it now. Now you got to go find it. I mean, keep in mind the image quality wasn't as good as it is now. It's very video, especially the first two episodes. But yeah, and Jack Black ended up being in future episodes. He played like a villain, and yeah, there's some other. I mean, that was the thing about Channel 101. Everybody was kind of just making stuff with what they had in their backyard or their apartment. I did a series called Fire Guys that were about these firemen, but all the roles were played by women because I had something that was rejected from Channel 101, and I'm like, fine, I'm going to make a show with all women, and it turned out pretty funny. It turned out pretty funny. We made 3 episodes, canceled Yacht Rock. I don't know if you've heard of Yacht Rock, but it kind of launched the genre that's now on Sirius XM, came from Channel 101. And all those videos are still up. And even like the Lonely Island guys and Andy Samberg made stuff in the early years. And that's pretty cool. So it was,
so
but we were all doing it for free and all doing it with what we have. And you can see like we may have borrowed some footage for Fire Guys for like our for for like the action scenes with fire trucks and stuff. Yeah, I didn't shoot that. I didn't shoot that.
so
But the sliding down the pole, we did a trick in my apartment where we put our hands at the top and then we slide and then it showed us at the bottom and it was just really like a big PVC pipe I painted gold and stuck in my apartment. I
And
did
what
not have a
works?
stripper pole in my apartment. It was just a PVC pipe that we were holding.
You hear that, folks? She's not the exotic dancer. Don't get your minds out of the gutter. So,
Never.
so,
Yeah, not my thing.
so you didn't distribute the role. You played the role. You delivered the role. But when you got the scripts, what were your initial thoughts? Like what the hell am I getting into? Like, what going through your head?
Well, I didn't have the whole script in the beginning. Like they thought they were doing a web series, right? So we only had like the part all of the parts where we're in the hospital and when I turned into Jane, that was shot later. Like we shot some of it in the farm and like in Reggie's cabin and where I get killed by the sphere. That was shot, and then years later, they're like, "We're going to shoot more," and I'm like, "Okay." And we got a little more money, so we have a location now. Okay, and we went to what was the name of that hospital? It's actually like an old folks home, but a lot of production have okay, a senior living facility. That was probably old folks home is probably not the right way to say anything anymore. But trying to be a little PC, even though I don't know, are we still PC or are we not? Um, um, but it was a definitely haunted, very used film location, and when we did that, it was later. So usually I was kind of getting the script like right before we were doing stuff. I actually don't remember, but I never got like a full script and then changes and stuff like you do on many productions. It was more like, hey, we're gonna go out and shoot this. And since I had already done all this like by the seat of our pants production, I'm pretty flexible that way. So it wasn't like, Dawn, would you like to do this production? Here is a script for you that you may review and then let us know your thoughts. There's nothing like that. It's like, okay, here's some pages. We're going tomorrow. It was more like that. So more like slightly guerrilla filmmaking, a little more polished because Dawn was involved, a little more thought put into it.
So, okay, my next question is, well, okay, not really more like a statement. When I spoke to Gloria before, I asked her about the challenges that she had to face while filming Lord of the Dead. I'm pretty sure there's tons of challenges while filming Ravager. So, although it looks like it was filmed like an austere environment, which was not very comfortable at all. So, can you go into detail what the set was like?
Well, the hospital was, the first stuff we did, we actually shot in Reggie and Gigi's house. The scene where I get killed is in their bed, and they put a big sheet of plastic over their bed, and then I was basically lying in bed, like waist deep in blood at one point, because the blood's spurting out. It's like it's a hose. It's a
No.
hose of fake blood. Um, so that was a little sticky and a little gross. And it's so funny because Gigi was like very protective. She's very like mama bear. And she was like, we don't want her to get hypothermia. I'm going to put this blanket around her. I'm like, oh, I'm okay. I'm not that cold. But at the end of it, so I had like a nightgown on and I just like had underwear on under the nightgown or whatever. But then like when I got up, I was so soaked. I had to pull the underwear off because they were just soaked. And not nobody saw anything. It was like with the nightgown down,
Right, right,
and I threw
right.
them on the floor. And I turned to the crew and I was like, "Oh, that is the worst period I've ever had." And they just died because she was like telling them not to make any jokes or anything like that. And I was just like, "Oh, that was a bad one." But as far as being uncomfortable, I mean, I guess the hospital was definitely haunted and it was pretty spooky. And there were times Reggie and Gigi are very sensitive to that stuff. And there was this scene where I was like walking with my rifle. I don't know that much about firearms. I asked Gigi and Reggie because they were in the service. I was like, please tell me if I'm not holding this correctly, and please give me tips. I don't want to look like an idiot. I hear all the time people who haven't handled firearms look dumb when they don't know what they're doing. So I made sure they were like watching me to make sure I was doing everything right. But I don't remember what kind of gun it was. It was an airsoft gun anyway, so it wasn't real. Um, but I'm like walking down we had to walk down this corridor, like we're clearing it, or you're in the
Yeah.
military, you can tell me what I'm supposed to say. But anyway, we're walking down this hallway, and Gigi was at one end of it, and Reggie was like, "Oh my God, I saw something." And when we got to the end of it, Gigi was like, "Oh yeah, did you see that, Reggie?" And he's like, "Yeah, they both saw something, and I didn't see it." I'm like, "Ah!" And then there was one room that was had the craziest energy, and it was like graffiti on all the walls. It looked like somebody had thrown. It probably wasn't real blood. I hope it was fake blood on the walls, but it was just such an intense vibe in there that I decided to change clothes in there just to see if I could. And but it's like we didn't have like cushy, star wagons or anything like that. We were getting dressed in random rooms and stuff, but it was fine. It wasn't like super uncomfortable. Um, Maybe some of the stuff what you're referring to was what we shot on green screen, where it really looked like I guess we're on the red planet or in, I don't
The
know,
desert, I guess. It has to be a desert.
desert or hell. That was actually in Dave's backyard with a green screen. So, yeah. So
So Dave's backyard
I
is
was
hell. All right, we
never,
got that now.
well, he made it look that way. Yeah, he made it look that way. We were out in like Big Bear Crestline area shooting some stuff on the side of the road, like when he picks me up when my car was broken down and stuff. But nothing was bad. There was no bad circumstances. In fact, we shot on a farm that had a lot of animals. And, growing up in Virginia, I rode horses when I was a preteen, and I just love animals. And there we had a donkey, and I got to pet a lot of farm animals. So I was happy. I'm like, I don't care if it smells like horse manure. I get to be around them. I don't care. So that was fun.
No judgment. Everyone has their own way to decompress. I get it. It's okay. I get it. I got my dogs. I get it. I pet my dogs to decompress. It's okay. I get it.
Yes,
So,
I would have an entire zoo of animals if I thought I could take care of them well, but I can't. I have a dog and a cat. That's a hummingbird feeder. That's all I can handle.
okay, so I had a friend who wanted me to ask you a question during the interview. He's also
Okay.
a huge he's also a huge Phantasm fan. Um,
Alrighty.
he wants to know if you could provide any clarification. So in Phantasm 5 Ravager, is the story going on in Reggie's head or Mike's head?
I don't know. I
Sorry,
think
Mike, we
that
don't
is
know now.
open to interpretation. That's it. We're good. You know how you see a painting
Yeah.
and you're like, what does this mean? And it's like, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you? I don't know. Dude, I have no idea. I was lost at sometimes during the movie.
Because in the beginning of the franchise, it's all on Mike's head, but towards the end, it starts showing like Reggie like waking up in different spots in the hospital, the old people home, and I'm like, to me, I'm confused as hell. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I mean,
What is reality?
so
What is a
exactly.
dream? Is he
Say
dead? Is he
nobody
alive?
knows.
Is he
So
old? Is he
I
not old? Like, yeah, is he senile? We don't know. Which world is he in? Yes, it
so
is. I don't think you're really supposed to know for sure, maybe.
I'm gonna tell my friend, I apologize, my friend, that no clarification was given. I think he'll live with it. It's okay. He'll
Sorry,
get past it.
friend. What's your friend's name? What's your
His name
friend's
is
name?
Mike.
Sorry, Mike.
So
Sorry,
because
Mike. I didn't I
I
didn't
want to
write
know
it.
too. I mean, it's
I
like
think you
I
got to
want
go after Dave Hartman and Don Coscarelli for that answer because I was just showing up and doing my lines.
okay, so we covered what was like work with the cast and crew, what was like behind the sets, Dave's backyard with the green screen, Gigi and Reggie's cabin, that we said. Okay.
Yeah.
And how you got the role. We didn't really actually audition for the role, but you nailed it perfectly, flawlessly. So
Just by showing up. Yep.
and sometimes all it takes. I mean, just hey, I'm here, I'm ready to act. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
So but yeah. Do you have any favorite scenes on set? any favorite memories at all?
Well, I mean, I think I really like the scene between Reggie and I where he like tells me the story, and I think it's a nice, very intimate moment, and not sexually intimate, but emotionally
Right.
intimate
Right.
moment,
Yeah.
kind of. And I do like that scene a lot. And I also really like the Jane character because she was kind of a badass. I do kind of wish that Jane got to fight a little more, like that you'd actually see her fight because she seemed like
Yeah.
she could fight, and then she just kind of got grabbed or whatever. I can't remember what happened, but that's the only thing. I wish Jane had fought more. But that scene between Reggie and I at the cabin, which is his house, um, that I think was, I got to do some vulnerable acting, I guess. That's always fun.
So what's next for you? Anything coming up? Anything exciting coming up you want to talk about?
Nothing really right now. I've just kind of, moved to the suburbs, raising my kid, been gardening a lot, and friends pull me in on stuff every once in a while. But I think after I had a baby, I just like doing the hustle of auditioning constantly, and it's a long ride up to LA, so I don't know. I mean, I'd love to do more appearances for Phantasm, and I've done some voiceover stuff for friends, and occasionally people call me and ask me to do stuff. And that's just so much easier. It's obviously it's nice when you don't have to audition and you just show up and be like, okay, what are we doing?
So
That and more.
I'm hoping one of these days that I will be able to attend a Phantasm Con here in New Jersey. They always seem to stay on the West Coast, which is kind of annoying.
Oh,
But um, but yes, I would like
well,
to meet you, Gloria, everybody. I mean, it'd be great. I mean,
and my
so
my husband's from New Jersey. He's from Homedale. Um, so we usually go to New Jersey like every year. So I could stay with my mother-in-law to go to a con there.
I have no idea
She
what
lives
it's
in
at. I'm from.
Long. Where are you at in New Jersey? I don't know New Jersey that well. I just sit in the car
I
and other people drive.
so if yeah, sure that's Paul Meyer, which is literally like 5 minutes from Philadelphia. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
like South Jersey is. I'm like just cross the bridge. I'm in Philadelphia. It's like 3 minute drive. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm at Paul Meyer. So
Well,
the very yeah.
yeah, I don't, everybody's like, what exit or whatever. Well, he grew up near Bell Labs is where they're shooting Severance, so the building that was Bell Labs because his dad worked for AT&T. Um, so she's in Long Branch, which is it's the Jersey Shore, but it's not Seaside Heights. It's like up from it a little bit like fancier area. But anyway, it's New Jersey. That's all I know of New Jersey. New Jersey is actually really pretty. It's like we're driving around New Jersey. I'm like, this is nice. Like we go, there's an area Red Bank that we go to, and I'm like, oh, this is fancy. These houses are big. Look at the beautiful foliage around here. So New Jersey gets a bad rap.
you're in the rich part of New Jersey. So it was.
Are there
Fortunately,
parts
I
of
live in
New
the
Jersey that
suburbs.
aren't that nice? Yeah, the
I'm in the
suburbs.
suburbs. It's not too fancy. So so
Yeah, but it's pretty. It's a pretty state.
it is.
Not where
Some
you
parts
are.
are no, well, give or take a little bit. I don't know. It depends how you see it. I'm right next
I
to the
know we're
Delaware
hanging
River,
out.
which really sucks. So
We're hanging out in the areas where Springsteen and Bon Jovi live. So I guess that's the
you're
nicer
golden.
part.
I mean, you're very golden. So well, I want to thank you for taking the time out. You've been a wonderful guest. I really enjoyed talking to you
Oh,
and getting to know more about you and the Phantasm Ravager. Even though it gets a lot of hate, I don't care. I thoroughly enjoy the movie. You deliver flawlessly. They can kiss my ass. I don't care what they say about you, the character. So, and
what
the
what do
Phantasm
people say about
franchise.
my character? I didn't hear this. I didn't haven't gotten the feedback.
I
I've
am
heard a
no
few
I
things. I've heard a few things about about the movie, and whatever. To each his own. It was supposed to be a web series. That's all I got to say. It
uh,
would have been a fantastic web series. It would have been
it would have
amazing. Everybody would
they
have been
should
like, "Oh my god, this is so amazing!" But then they decided to make a feature, and now it's getting all this, you know, critique. But if it had been a web series, people's expectations would have been lower and they would have been psyched. So
Exactly. Well,
maybe look at it again and think of it that way, and then maybe you'll like it better.
you know, well, I for one have a very deep appreciation for the Phantasm franchise. So
Yay. Me too.
because
Me
I love
too.
it so much, because like I said, it has that Lovecraftian feel to it. You have no idea what the hell's going on. You're confused all the time, and I love it. I love movies where at least you're confused at the end.
At
So
least it's not predictable.
that is
It's
true.
it's you can't not say it's predictable.
That
You
is
don't
a
you
fact.
do not know what's going to happen at any point because you are just going to be confused. So you are not it's not predictable. There's
You
nothing
know,
worse in a movie that like you're like, "Oh, now this is going to happen." That's what happened. I knew that was going to happen, you know. It's not like that.
that is a fact. You are correct 100%. So, um, and now we'll leave it to the rest of the world to figure out if it's actually happening in Michael's head or Reggie's head. Leave it to him to
Yeah,
decide.
let's
So,
you know, it's
so
like that blue dress that was on the internet years ago. Is it blue? Is it white? Like what color? Is it gold? Like it's like that. Like it's different people see it different ways.
exactly. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really
Okay,
appreciate it. You've been a wonderful
thank
guest.
you.
I wish you nothing but continued success in your career in acting and in the future. And if by some chance, I'm gonna go on a limb here. If they make a Phantasm 6, I hope they bring you into it.
Oh, you're very sweet, Benjamin. Thank you so much. I enjoyed
I
it.
think revive Dawn, damn it. She belongs there. Okay. So
No, revive Jane. I liked her better and make her
oh,
fight.
that too. Okay, scratch that. Revive G, make her fight. Turn to a
I
badass
like Jane.
commando like Gloria. Okay. All right.
That's all right. Okay, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the wonderful, the talented, the beautiful Don Cody, who plays in Phantasm Ravager. Go check it out now. And again, thank you so much. And hopefully, I will see you again on the big screen.
I hope so too.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.